So, a Seattle area jail, Kings County Correctional Facility, has had a whistleblower come forth and say that they are hiring people of questionable immigration status. In other words, they're hiring people who aren't American to work in the jail. Some of them are criminal migrants, meaning that they are here illegally and should not be getting a job, period. Now, to the full extent is still getting investigated, but there have been four people that were going through training that were let go immediately. Yep, you heard that right. It's already been proven that it may not be the 100, but it's at least four people that were going through training. So there could have been more because how did they end up in training if they weren't? That just it's a whole bunch of silliness going on here. So this happening around Seattle area, you can figure out that it's kind of funny. Now, I've got a news article that's coming from a radio station up there, Seattle Red 77 or 770 AM. Seattle Red. Now there's a heck of a name. Um so we're going to cover this. We're going to see what exactly is going on when it comes to this jail. And I want you thinking about this. This is probably going on in other cities and it's not had whistleblowers coming forth. So here also, if you like to know what's going on with government, state, local, and federal. And by the way, this could be more than just here or there at Seattle area, that King County. This probably is happening in other places. So this is something for you to think about, folks. Hit like, hit subscribe because I cover stories like this all the time. Here we go. Howdy, y'all. This is Paul, the Redneck Thinker. What we have here is a channel to communicate. I want you folks to be thinking by the time you leave my videos. Why? Because I'm tired of people talking via what other people tell them to think. So, watch my video and enjoy the chance to think for yourself. So, a whistleblower complaint from a current corrections officer within King County's Department of Adult and Juvenile Detention claims that the agency under Director Alan Nance and DAJD Human Resources knowingly hired more than 100 correction officers whose visas were expired or otherwise invalid, putting their certifications at risk under state law and calling into question the integrity of the county's hiring process. The Washington State Criminal Justice Training Commission has confirmed the receipt of the complaint. The Jason Rant show on Seattle Red 770 AM and an independent source with direct knowledge of the issue says preliminary data suggests the number of questionable hires could exceed 100. The complaint is in the initial review phase with no timeline with how long it will take to complete. Now, that was started on, hold on a second here, October 8th. So they updated same day. WSCJTC said in a new statement that it immediately expelled four King County Corrections Academy recruits after King County confirmed that they did not meet eligibility requirements. In a letter submitted to the King County Council, member to a King County Council member, the anonymous officer who cited extreme fear of retaliation alleged that the DAJD has hired corrections officers whose work visas were expired or otherwise invalid. This is in direct violation of the Revised Code of Washington 43.101.095, which permits only U.S. citizens, lawful permanent residents, and individuals covered under the Deferred Action for Children of Rivals (DACA) program to be certified as corrections officer in the state of Washington. The scale of this problem cannot be overstated. It is estimated that over 100 corrections officers currently employed by the DAJD may fall into this questionable status, the corrections officer noted. Some estimates place the number closer to 130 officers. If the Washington State Criminal Justice Training Commission revokes their certification, these individuals would be unable to continue serving as correctional officers. The loss of this many staff would place the county's jail system on the brink of collapse, with very real possibility of forcing the closure of a jail due to unsafe staffing levels. The whistleblower criticizes Director Nance's extreme inability to effectively run our jails and says his apparent disregard for compliance with state law, public safety in King County has been put at unacceptable risk. In the letter, corrections officer did not indicate what evidence was submitted in the complaint. However, according to a source with direct knowledge of what's alleged in the complaint, some recent hires, all Africans, openly admit they may not have the correct paperwork to legally work for the DHAD. The WSCJTC would not provide the complaint to the Jason Ranch show on Seattle Red 770 AM in a timely manner. If the whistleblower's numbers are accurate, revoking certification for over 100 officers would create an immediate crisis. Staffing levels in King County's jail system already stretched. The sudden removal of 1/3 or more of the workforce would further force facility restrictions on bookings or unsafe operations. There's also a procedural question. How did these hires circumvent review during certification process? Pursuant to state law, employers are responsible for completing background checks for certified peace and corrections officers, including employment eligibility. Upon completion, the agency submits a notice of hire under penalty of perjury stating the individual meets all hiring and certification requirements under state law. So this could also lead to people going to jail. Okay, so basically there's a whole lot of investigation going on. I'm going to leave all this in a link down below because this is something fascinating. Here's where the problem comes in. You got a bunch of folks that don't understand law enforcement. They don't understand why you have to keep the people of this country safe. They think that they can continue to operate in the same manner that they've always been operating, which is dangerously. What's going to happen if they have to take that many corrections officers out of a jail? Seriously, I don't care how big of a employer it is. They're saying 1/3 or more of the workforce. That means there's going to be folks that are going to be working way too many hours. They're going to be tired. They're going to make mistakes. The violent offenders that are in the jail are going to notice this. The schemers are going to notice this, and they're going to be finding ways to game the system. Starting to get the point here, not to mention lawyers are going to find a way to get people that should stay in jail out of jail. It's going to be a cascade effect. This whistleblower is not the problem. The problem is that somebody broke the law, and I hope somebody goes to jail for breaking the law, because it's already been proven that this is happening. So we need to know, we need to have people going to jail for this, actually to prison. But this is more failure that's going on in this country. This has been Paul, the Redneck Thinker. Y'all have a good day now. Bye. So, folks, that's the story that I wanted to bring you on this video. And I just wanted to say thank you again for coming by. Hit like, subscribe, comment, all that fun stuff if you don't mind. Help me out. So, y'all have a good day now. Bye.